It's late August and things are getting extremely exciting in the high tunnel. So today we're gonna take a little tour inside the hoop house and I'll show you all of my favorite tomato varieties, some new surprises, and a little bit about our setup. So welcome to our high tunnel. Hermit built this last year. It was his own design. I have 3 videos here, and here that you can watch to learn exactly how he built it and see what his thought process was. So this has held up fantastically over the winter. So for context, if you're new to this channel, we were in zone 3 near Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, and our winters get to -40. We had lots of snow last year, and except for clearing the high tunnel off maybe once or twice, this held up to snow beautifully, no issues. We have a very thrown together irrigation system, which I'll also walk you through, but I know first you're definitely going to want to see some of the tomatoes. So about half of the tomatoes that you see here are ones that we've saved from seed, and others are old favorites that we bought. So probably one of the most successful tomatoes on our farm is the Costaludos, and these are the Costaludo Fiorente, and these are all from seeds that I saved last year. Anything that seems to be Italian in origin seems to do well here with our sandy soil. Over here you can see there's quite nice big bunches of them. They do really well in the hoop house and are definitely one of our favorites. Like, look at this. They're both gorgeous, productive, and I'm told they taste really good too. Another favorite are the Hungarian hearts. So these are paste tomato. They are huge. This is even like a small one for here. We have some larger ones in the back. And then I actually measured one and it was, I think, about 500 grams. So these get to about a pound. They're pretty exciting. The only bad thing with the Hungarian hearts for seed saving is because they're a paste tomato, they don't have a lot of seeds. So you're probably gonna wanna save from 2 tomatoes. I like to save from whichever tomato ripens first, and then whichever tomato is the largest. If you're interested in giving seed saving a try, the biggest thing to remember is that you need heirloom varieties. Hybrids will not work the way that you intend. If you save the seeds, they're just going to go back to the 2 parents. But otherwise, if you know you have an heirloom variety, your seed packet will tell you. If you long lost the seed package, you can just look up the variety on the internet or on a seed company, and chances are you'll be able to find that information somewhere. Our third favorite variety here is the striped Roman paste tomato. Now these ones are smaller, but they're just so pretty. Like, look at that gorgeous striping, and I'm told they taste really good too. Some of our plants also seem to be producing larger striped Romans, so this is like at least twice the size. The only thing is they seem to all have blossom end rot, and we do water fairly regularly, and other tomatoes don't. So I don't know, maybe I should save from this one, because this one doesn't have blossom end rot, but anyway, they're very pretty. Really love them. Our system for trellising tomatoes and cucumbers and other vining plants has been working quite well for us. So you'll see they're zip tied up to the poles. Then they have these sort of hooks there with twine wrapped around or cotton string. And then the tomato gets attached to the string with these little plastic hooks. And these hooks are reusable. So every year when we clean this out, we just take the hooks off and put them back in the bucket. And it works great. Basically, as the season progresses, we go through the greenhouse probably every 3 days or so, just trellis what needs to be trellised, and it's pretty fun. Now, when a tomato needs to be moved, say that it's reached the top, or in this case, maybe earlier in the season, I wanted to tighten it, all you have to do is just remove the hook. And then in this case, I think I'm gonna lift it up. So I would just make it a bit shorter and then replace the hook like that. Now you can do the opposite. Say for this one, I want this one up here. It's pretty much reached the top and I wanna let that tomato grow taller. I just remove the hook. Then I would let out more string and then it would place it back up. Now, I don't actually want to move this one, so we're just gonna leave it the way it is, but yeah, it's a great system, works for us. Make sure you get the cotton string, or if you're gonna use twine, some sort of twine that has wax to it, because we find the regular twine has actually snapped off for us. And so we do have a few tomatoes that are just kind of hanging out on the ground of the greenhouse, which is definitely not ideal. All right, back to the tomatoes. So this is a new cherry type variety for us. Although I don't know what the size of that looks more like a saladette. But anyway, this is the bumblebee mix. You can tell I am a sucker for a striped tomato. They just look so pretty. Now, unfortunately, a lot of our tags get mixed up, but I'm thinking that this one is the pink brandy wine from West Coast Seeds that I was asked to trial as part of their ambassador program. It's a beautiful tomato, lovely color, nice size. I think there's another one over here. Yeah, like look at those plants, and I'll have to ask my taste testers if it tastes good or not. We also have some green zebra. This is my mother-in-law's favorite tomato, so we make sure that we always grow it for her. And I saved seeds from this one too, and a lot of these are a much nicer size than they were last year. I think, again, because I just saved the bigger seeds and it's hopefully paying off. Now, some of my seed saving experiments didn't exactly go to plan. I think this year we actually unintentionally created a hybrid with the help of the bees. So let me show you this one. So over here we have what I thought was a Hungarian heart tomato until I started to see this striping, and then this totally gave it away. It's a Hungarian heart tomato crossed with the speckled Roman. Like, it's so gorgeous. I'm so curious about how it tastes. I imagine this would be a great paste tomato because both varieties are a paste tomato. Yeah, I'll get the taste testers. You're probably also wondering why, Kristen, why do you keep talking about the taste testers? Why don't you just like eat the tomato? I don't like raw tomatoes. I never have. I've tried multiple times over the years, and I've gotten to the point where if it's like a slice of tomato in a sandwich with other things, or like if it's bruschetta but not too tomatoey, I mean, I know it's bruschetta, that sounds ridiculous, but like if there's enough other things with it, I can do it. But otherwise, I just still don't like raw tomatoes. We do grow some lower acid varieties. So of course I showed you those Amana oranges and then the lemon boy as well, which we have somewhere in here. But even then, I just still don't like raw tomatoes. This Amana orange over here is like my pride and joy. So these tomatoes, I mean, obviously they fuse together, but they are huge. They are extremely tasty, I am told by the taste testers, and one of them that we measured was 700 grams, which is crazy. So that's most of our tomatoes that are in this hoop house for now. If you want to know whatever tomatoes are ripe at whatever times, you can always check out my Instagram account where I show you kind of what's going on here every day. Lots of cold climate gardening tips there too. Anyway, let's talk about the irrigation system. So this irrigation system is not a dream irrigation system in the least. So if you're just looking for something that you can kind of slap together, get it done, we chose not to go with a proper irrigation system. One, just like money, and two, we weren't sure if we were going to keep this row size. We were considering maybe enlarging all of our rows 50 feet. They're currently 40 feet, but I think just the way things are going, we're probably going to stick with the 40 feet. So next year is, fingers crossed, the year to get a proper irrigation system set up. But anyway, many of you are probably in the same situation where you just like need something that will make do. So this is what we've done. So our whole watering system on the acreage runs with these quick connect things. So we can easily take off this hose and move it to whatever next part needs watering. Next is the timer so that we don't forget about things. I'm gonna put this timer on when we're done the video, but I just don't want the water rushing sound while I'm recording. Then we have a reducer. I think the hermit said ideally this would actually reduce even more, but this is what we could kind of find. And then of course the thing to like split out the different soaker hoses. So these are just kind of cheap soaker hoses. They work, and we have one for each row. And then I tend to put this on for about 90 minutes every second day. Now, for some of you, that amount of time probably sounds absolutely ridiculous, like you're watering your tomatoes way too much. Why would you? But we just have such sandy soil, and you know, we've been doing amendments and stuff, and this area has probably gotten the best of the amendments, but even still, we kind of know how our soil works, and it seems like that's about the time we need to water. So now onward to the cucumbers and peppers. This is our cucumbers. Honestly, they're not doing that hot. These did a bit better last year. What we do, we use this pretty much the same system as we do with the tomatoes, except when we have a vine, then we just wrap it around. And then it makes it a lot easier to see your cucumbers so you don't miss them. We're getting a lot of this, which means I'm probably not watering these enough. And again, why I think we need to go to a better irrigation system, but alas, can't do everything perfect. This cucumber though has been a very happy surprise. I just bought this on a whim because I felt last year like every gardening influencer was planting these white cucumbers, and we gave it a try on Instagram, liked it a lot more than I thought we would, and it's a new favorite. So white cucumbers, I don't know if it's martini, if it's salt and pepper. The girls are really bad at moving our labels. Like, we try, but with 2 toddlers, it's just, forget it. We're never gonna know what anything is, maybe until they're 4 or 5. So, you know, someday. As for the peppers, I gotta confess, I don't know what all of these are, because this is like the hermit's thing where he pretty much picks what he likes. A lot of these were from the greenhouse. My peppers did not do very well this year, unfortunately, the ones I started, but you win some, you lose some. But as always, we have the Hungarian wax, which is definitely a favorite. We've clipped quite a few already because they were ready, but a few more are getting to be red. And then we have, I believe these are the Scotch bonnets, the super hot ones. I will not touch these. These are ridiculous. And finally, we have the melons of failure. Again, I think it's because melons just need way more moisture than I seem to be able to give them. I highly doubt we're gonna get anything at this point. I feel like I should just rip everything out, but apparently the weather is quite good. There's no frost temperatures in sight at all, so I'm gonna keep these guys going. Who knows? This is my one loofah sponge vine that's actually making it. I don't think there's any way possible I'm gonna get loofah sponges out of this. A couple of years ago, I wrote a post about growing loofah sponges in zone 3 and how hard it was. And it's interesting because in my first year of that experiment, I actually had the most success. And I basically kept those loofahs indoors until July. And I was only able to do it because I had a really good south-facing window. It was very tall. And so I could let them trellis there and then transfer them out much later. I don't have that set up in this house. So far what I'm doing isn't working. I will keep trying. I'll keep updating the post, but just know loofah sponges in zone 3 are like, they are not for the faint of heart. And those big loofah sponges that you see in other warmer zones when they harvest, like, forget it. I hate to say that, unless you have a fully enclosed greenhouse that's heated, that you can make it work. I just feel like for the average home gardener, loofah sponge success is going to be very difficult. So thanks for hanging out with me during this little greenhouse tour. If you like more content like this, definitely hit that subscribe and like button. I'm on daily on Instagram and Facebook, TikTok as well. So for more cold climate gardening advice, I'll see you there. Bye-bye.